Chances are, if you have a scar of some sort, there's a story behind the scar, right? I have a little scar right here on my top lip. When I was little, I tripped over a bag in the dark and busted my lip open on the door and had to get stitches the whole 9 yards, and the scar still reveals that story, right? I still don't have total mobility of my pinky because maybe like 10 or so years ago, I tripped and fell and broke my pinky. And so the bone's healed, it's generally fine, but I still don't have that full range of motion, right? Those are some stupid little stories of some simple little scars, but I think people do have scars that actually are great signs of victory, right? I think about a scar from like a surgery that cured you of cancer, right? Or a scar that from a surgery that remedied some big issue that you were having, right? A transplant scar, something like that, right? It's a sign of victory and a sign of new life and of hope, right? I'm proud of that scar, a scar that I experienced in some brave act. They remind us of the goodness of what happened there, right? It's a scar of victory, right? Maybe there are some scars that you would rather forget from some tragic accident, some tragic event that it just brings up negative emotions. And man, I wish that scar wasn't there, right? I think just like we have physical scars, we also have spiritual scars, scars on our soul, scars on our minds, these things that weigh upon us and they hurt, right? And we want them to be healed, but they won't. No matter how hard we try, the scars remain. No matter what I guess I do, this scar on my lip has remained there, right? And although this one doesn't hurt, some scars do hurt, right? Maybe when the weather changes, there's a little pain and ache, and I just wish it were gone. I wish it wouldn't be there. It'd be better if I didn't have any of these scars. Struck by kind of that reflection, because in the gospel today, Jesus comes and appears to the apostles after his resurrection, and notice the first thing that he does is he shows them the scars. He shows them his wounds. He kept his wounds. He could have just gotten rid of them, but he kept them, and in fact shows them off and glorifies them before his apostles and before all of us. He wants us to see the scars, and he wants us to see in particular the redemption of the scars. He wants us to see that these scars no longer hurt him. The marks of the nails, the mark of the lance in his side, they don't hurt him anymore. What could be just like a sign of shame for us, he wants us to see there is no shame here. These scars are now glorifying, like they are glorified. They are a sign of hope, they are a sign of redemption, and they are proof that mercy is limitless. They are proof that there's nothing too big for my love to redeem, an invitation to trust in the power of what these scars reveal. Jesus invites us to trust that just as his scars were glorified, so can our scars be glorified. Our wounds can be healed. I think perhaps the deepest wound that we all experience is the wound of distrust. Distrust of other people, distrust of the Lord, right? When trust is shattered, it can hit us to our core. And that distrust of God can be one of the deepest wounds that we struggle with in our spiritual life. And that is the wound, that is the scar that Jesus wants to heal, that Jesus wants to glorify and redeem, so that that wound, that hurt, can no longer be a source of pain or suffering or isolation or aloneness, but can in fact become a source of glory, so that we can believe that even in that deep hurt, God can still act, that nothing is truly too big for him. Jesus invites us to trust. Now, what is it that brings that trust? Is our own concrete experience of that love and that mercy that Jesus offers to us. Second Sunday of Easter is known as Divine Mercy Sunday, the Sunday of Divine Mercy, the Sunday that reminds us that despite of what we did to the Lord, his love is greater, that there is no hurt that cannot be redeemed. There is no wound, no scar that cannot be healed so long as we bring it to him. And we don't deserve that, right? Mercy is the love that we desperately need and we long for, but we're never going to be able to earn or deserve, right? We will never merit mercy. We will never earn it or be worthy of it. That is what makes it mercy. It is a love that we need and want, but we didn't earn. We don't deserve to be loved like this, but Jesus freely gives us that deep love anyway, especially in the sacrament of confession. That is where we receive the gift of mercy. All the sins that we bring to the Lord in confession are wiped away. There is no sin that is too big for the Lord to heal. Repentance is always possible. Mercy is always offered to us. That enables us to really pray that prayer that is so closely associated with the divine mercy image. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you because I have experienced your love. I know how big and how great your love is for me, and I give myself entirely to that love. And because you love me so much and you love me so well, I trust you totally. I trust you with everything. I give you my whole heart, and I hold nothing back because I know that you will receive me as I am. You will receive everything and bring redemption there. I know that my wounds and my scars can be healed by you. God knows that we're wounded. He knows that we're imperfect. He knows he has scars that need to be redeemed, and he wants to turn them into glory. He shows us his wounds almost to say, like, this is what I want to do to you if you let me. If you invite me into your wound, I can make it a sign of glory and a sign of my faithfulness to you. Question for us is, will we let the Lord in? Will we let him do that? He stands at the door and knocks. He wants to come in. Will we allow him to transform our wounds to be brilliant symbols of his glory in our lives?